The Corvallis School Board is called to order for the June 28th, 2021 session. First, we will call everybody who's willing and able to join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. The board is meeting to vote on matters discussed in executive session, and the board will take an action in public. So is there anyone who would like to provide a motion? Jay?
I move that in response to Mr. and Mrs. Samuels and Ms. Janney's request for board review of their complaint, that the board take no further action and defer to Assistant Superintendent Harder's April 20, 2021 decision regarding the Samuel Janney April 8, 2021 complaint.
Is there a second for the motion?
Second.
All right, it's been moved by Jay, second by Therese. Is there any discussion on the motion?
Well, I guess. So,
And as a reminder, we can discuss details about the substance of any material shared in the executive session.
right, yeah. So I guess a question that I have is just about whether or not, or thing I guess I want to hear from people on is whether or not we think that our complaint process is clearly articulated such that people know what they would or wouldn't or should or shouldn't include. And then do we have a policy? This is my question. Do we have a policy, or is there a standard operating procedure around how the district responds if something is included in a complaint that, for lack of a better term, I guess, doesn't seem like it should be there? I don't want to say, I'm trying to be careful not to say anything, but in the event that, say, a complaint comes forward and includes information, and then the complaint is resolved in a way that doesn't require or doesn't suggest taking action on said information, is that the same as the district approving or being passively accepting of that information as acceptable to have included? I don't even know if that question makes sense, because I feel like I had to leave out all the key words to ask the question. So now I don't know if anyone can even understand it.
Absolutely. Ryan, would you like to chime in? And I might chime in as well.
Yeah, I would say that I can think of a number of scenarios where the response to a complaint would be directed at an individual rather than back towards the complainant. I can think about a number of cases, even thinking about things like that happen in a school, like student discipline, where one person may be aware of it and another may not. So I think there are cases like that.
Yeah. And I would, sorry, Sarah.
I feel like this gets into a touchy area because I don't feel like we have the role of, when somebody has a complaint, deciding for them whether their complaint is appropriate or not. I think you may be clarifying, this is your complaint, you've asked for this recourse, and this other information you've included is outside of that area, and we're going to answer the complaint and the recourse that you asked for in our response. I think it's appropriate, but I'm not comfortable with saying, when you make a complaint, this is the information you can or can't include, because there may be things we don't know about. We start eliminating people's ability to perhaps give us information that we want to need.
Yeah, I guess I'm thinking more about what is the obligation of the district to look at or consider things that are included, even if it doesn't seem particularly relevant.
I,
And then address those.
yeah, I would say it's really hard to speak on the topic of the motion while still wanting to make sure that we're addressing issues related to the complaint process. But maybe Therese, if I would answer the question or the thoughts that you're mentioning in terms of what the board and the district do is a decision on a complaint one way or the other
Mhm.
does not sanction the material provided in that complaint and does not make it all true or all invalid. Decisions on complaints on any level
Mhm.
are to the merits of what's the issue at hand and what's the problem that needs to be solved. Does not mean we say that everything in the complaint is true or not true. And we're talking now in the abstract of policy KL as we perceive it. So does that maybe provide, does that share the
That
sentiment?
that
of
is
what
the
you're
practice is what I would assume to be the case. Whether that's articulated and people would understand a ruling on a complaint to
thinking?
mean that is a different question, and I don't know that I'm as clear on.
Right.
If I was getting a response back about a complaint, would I understand, or would I have been advised to understand that the decision about the complaint is not a statement of fact or not fact about any particular thing that was included in the complaint? I don't know how you do that exactly, but I do wonder about making the distinction between that.
Mhm.
I don't know.
Any further discussion? See no further discussion, I'll state the motion on the table, moved by Director Conroy and seconded by Director Jones. For the record, it has been moved in response to Mr. and Mrs. Samuels and Mrs. Jenny's request for board review of the complaint. The board take no further action and defer to Assistant Superintendent Harder's April 20, 2021 decision regarding the Samuel Jenny April 8th, 2021 complaint. And we will enter to a roll call vote. Director Therese Jones, what's your vote?
I vote in support. Yes.
Dr. Adams,
Aye.
Dr. Conroy,
Aye.
Director Whitebear,
Aye.
Vice Chair Finger McDonald,
Aye.
and the chair votes aye. Passes unanimously. All right, is there any further board member comments or other board member comments? All right, see none and there's no further business. The school board meeting is